Welcome to the Exit Coach Radio Show, the show for baby boomer business owners who are looking for cutting-edge information as they plan their 3 to 10-year business succession and exit. Every week, we interview top professional advisors for their best tips, strategies, and precautions so you can be well-planned. And don't miss our 1-minute Exit Coach tip of the day on exitcoachradio.com. And now, here's your host, the Exit Coach, Bill Black.
Welcome back and thanks for listening. This segment of the show is brought to you by our brand new sponsor, Delta Business Services, and features its CEO, Heath Frantzen, who's joining us from San Antonio, Texas. And we're going to talk about the perfect business exit strategy. So, Heath, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Bill. It's great to be here.
It's our pleasure, Heath. Thanks very much for joining us, and thanks for joining us as a sponsor on the show. We're excited to have you and look forward to hearing about the perfect business exit strategy. Before we get into that, we always like to start by getting to know a little bit about our guests. So can you share a little bit about your background and how you got started in this line of work?
You bet. And listeners, you'll need a pad and a pen because the next 20 minutes are going to revolutionize how you think about exiting your business. And there's a bonus for you at the end. I'm Heath Frantzen. I'm a small business owner and buyer. I'm very passionate about two things, business and taking care of people. I founded Delta Business Services, and we buy small businesses and help our sellers exit with confidence. I come from a line of entrepreneurs and business owners. My path was quite similar. I came up in Austin, Texas, and I was a teenager when the 80s savings and loan crisis happened. Austin was ground zero for that crash, and that was the event that I really cut my teeth on. That's what started my love affair with investing. I started out first as a real estate investor through college, and then eventually went into sales and leasing, then home building, and then land development. I wound up being in charge of a very large real estate project at a very young age, a relatively young age, and successfully built out a subdivision in what became the largest master plan community in the Austin, Texas area. That path really fast-tracked me to a point where I was able to go into business for myself. I founded a niche real estate investment company, and I successfully exited that company about 3 years later, at the height of the market, after seeing some of the same conditions I saw when I was a teenager. That was 3 months prior to the dot-com bust. I was able to retire and move to Florida, but I found retirement pretty boring at such a young age. I decided to shrug off the idleness and began helping some community nonprofits fix their problems and become successful, including planting 3 churches in South Florida that are still there today. But in 2005, I moved back to Texas, and I saw the ground shifting. I knew that what was going on in our economy wasn't sustainable and that we were in trouble. I stayed on the sidelines until a crash happened and then got back into the market, and I've been buying businesses ever since. I've been on a little over 300 deals in my career with business brokers, and each and every time, without exception, I saw how both the seller and the buyer were getting a raw deal. 87% of businesses listed for sale never close, and only 1 in 4 that do transition successfully. This leaves sellers an abysmally low 3% chance of a successful exit. Too many sellers are overlooking the need for sound business succession planning, let alone the tax and estate planning aspects of exiting their business or setting themselves up for a great retirement, and buttoning it all up with sound asset protection. So I decided to do something about it, and this is how the Delta solution was created.
That's quite a story, Heath. That's an alarming statistic that 87% of businesses that are for sale or go into a sale process never close. If you're a business owner looking to retire, what top 3 things would you do to best prepare yourself and your business for an exit to avoid that?
The 3 things I would recommend. Number 1, you need to get the big picture. You have to think about exiting your business critically. In other words, you need to spend some time identifying the things that you want that are successful, that would constitute a successful exit for you. Number 1, I think, is getting educated. Understand that since some folks out there can't fill your pockets, they'll instead fill your ear. All of the money and investing gurus come to mind. So consider the source. You want to learn from people who are eating their own cooking and not throwing up. Mm-hmm. So when in doubt, use all the free resources on our site. If need be, call us. We're happy to help you. I would say the second thing is you need to get a reality check. It's a sober reality, but it's a buyer's market for the next 20 years. The baby boomer generation in this country has approximately 225,000 business owners turning 65 each year looking for an exit. The problem is that there's only about 24,000 sales each year, and 3 out of 4 of those are failures. So you got a 3% chance, and only the most profitable businesses with the most flexible sellers are going to be sold successfully. And know that astute buyers have lots of choices, so you got to do the things that it takes to give yourself a fighting chance against your competition. And I would say number 3, spend some time understanding that the professional buyers buy investments. And the difference between owning a job and owning a business is leverage. And this is leverage through delegation, systems, culture, finance, etc. So identify the risks and the problem areas in your company and be proactive and fix them. You can use the free risk analysis program that we're giving away at the end of the show to help you. All you have to do is go to the web address that we'll give you at the end, and it's the same risk analysis program that we use at Delta. It's very user-friendly, and it's a $1,400 value.
Heath, a lot of our listeners that are contemplating selling their business, the first thing they do is call a business broker. Now, what would a business broker say about Delta?
That's a good question. Sellers should understand that what is good for the broker is not good for the principals in a transaction. Brokerage is the pickpocket of wealth preservation. And that being said, I had breakfast with one of our biggest competitors recently, and he loves Delta. He is a business broker, but he can't make any money with us because the Delta solution doesn't serve his interests. It only serves the principal's interests. So I doubt he'll have anything praiseworthy to say about us in public. Nevertheless, he was all gaga about us at the table. And that's it in a nutshell. If a broker can't make any money with it, they won't endorse it. It's all about what's in it for me to people like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's their job, is to find a buyer, just like real estate, right? Find a buyer, find a seller, and put them together and make some money on the transaction. How do you work with an owner's advisors then?
We work with advisors on a regular basis. They're kept in the loop while we take the seller through the acquisition process step by step. Inevitably, there are questions that come up, and we always include the seller in both the question and answer. And this is the quickest and fastest way that we found to educate the seller on the exit process and manage their expectations. It also leaves no room for miscommunication. Clarity is power, and education is our goal, because when you know better, you do better.
So you take a lot of the risk and the difficulty out of this situation with your Delta solution. Tell us a little bit about that. Set us up. Then we're going to go to a quick commercial break and come back and you can explain more. But set us up. What is the Delta solution?
Okay. Well, the Delta solution is this. We responded to the market. What the Delta solution is an exit strategy that identifies the 5 critical areas of a sound business exit. And that is competent management to take over your business, tax planning, retirement planning, asset protection, and at the tail end, an estate planning mechanism where you can leave a legacy to your heirs. So it takes care of everything all in one shot. And that's what makes things a successful outcome for most retiring baby boomer business owners who want to sell their business and do it successfully. We're
talking with Heath Frantzen of Delta Business Services. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back and ask him to share a few stories and some tips, ideas, and precautions that you can use. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, it's Bill Black, the Exit Coach, and let's face it, handing over the reins of a business that you've been running for years is an emotional thing for sellers, and you want to know that your baby is in good hands. There's a company out there called Delta Business Services that's created a process to create certainty for a successful business exit, and you ought to know about it. Heath Frantzen at Delta Business Services is someone that you ought to talk to. They've created a strategy that will take the uncertainty and the worry out of your business exit, because they will buy your business and help with the transition and the transfer of the business. That's right, at Delta Business Services, they'll make sure that your exit strategy is pain and worry-free with their common sense personal approach. To find out more information, you just got to go to their website and check it out. It's at deltabusinessservices.com. deltabusinessservices.com. That's deltabusinessservices.com, or contact Heath Frantzen at 210-369-4161. That's 210-369-4161.
Welcome back, friends. Just a reminder that we've interviewed dozens of advisors on a wide variety of topics, and you will find all of their interviews and highlights online at exitcoachradio.com or on iTunes at exitcoachradio.com. And I'm talking with Heath Frantzen from Delta Business Services. And Heath, before the break, we talked about the Delta solution and how it takes a lot of the complication and the inefficiency, the financial inefficiency out of selling your business. And you talked about the 5 keys are management, tax planning, retirement planning, asset planning, and estate planning. So let's start with management planning. How does your solution, let's walk through what happens when someone says, I want to sell my business to Delta. What happens?
You get the assurance that a well-seasoned, experienced management team is taking over baby and running it and growing it successfully. We're all entrepreneurs and business owners at Delta. So we have decades of track record. Our combined experience is over 70 years. And we've been to the rodeo before, and we own a couple. And that is the difference between, I'd have to say that is the number one difference between us and someone else, is that we have the ability to consistently execute, and it's execution that makes the difference between success and failure.
Okay. So you're going to come in and buy someone's business and then put in a management team to run it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So we have people either inside the business that are ready to be promoted, who we can coach on how we want that operating business to be run, or if no one is really ready to take the reins inside the organization, there is almost always someone inside the competition who is fed up with the bureaucracy over there, the PowerPoint presentations, the paperwork shuffling, and they're fed up, they're done, and they're ready to make the jump. And if we have done our homework during due diligence and properly identified our competition, it's only one step further to properly identify someone inside the competition who is ready to come on over and roll up their sleeves, get back to work. It's going to be high growth, lots of activity, and by the way, they're the one calling the shots as the operating manager, and we're helping them all along the way.
Okay. So this is something that you guys have perfected over the years, and you have a process, and you're going to bring that process to help make sure that the company runs effectively and efficiently, because it's in your best interest now, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. And then tax planning. Tell us about the tax planning side of things.
Well, tax planning is where we're on a crusade. Taxes are going to be your number one line item expense when you're exiting your business. And what we have done is over the years, we have familiarized ourselves so much so with the tax code that we know the strategies to use to avoid the tax pitfalls, whether it's estate tax, capital gains tax, or income tax. We wrap all of those 3 things into the Delta solution, and we coach a business seller on how to avoid those things to keep 100% of their net worth intact when they sell their business. And the Delta solution is the only solution where they'll get that. Okay,
so you have a list of strategies that you're ready to deal with, depending on what makes the most sense, to save taxes on all fronts for the business owner. That puts more money in their pocket and keeps more money in the operation of the company for the future as well, so it has the best chance to grow. It makes sense. And then how about the retirement aspect?
Yes. So what we do when a business owner sells a business to Delta is we actually transform the business into the seller's retirement fund for life. We strike an agreement with each and every Delta seller, and by the way, this applies to the spouse too, that we're going to give them retirement income that's tax advantaged, that's also indexed to inflation, by the way, for the remainder of their days. And typically, if they're married, then the wife will live a little bit longer than the husband, and the stream of income applies to her life as well. So it goes all the way out until the second spouse passes.
Okay, so that's part of the strategy, is to make sure that
Right.
you may not get a huge lump sum, which most people mismanage anyways, and it gets taxed all over the place.
That's the problem.
But
Exactly.
what most people really need is income from the sale and a check in the mailbox, and especially if it's indexed for inflation. That's great.
That's right.
And then the asset protection side of things?
Yes. And so it's since you're selling your business and it's your retirement, you want to make sure that it's safe and secure. And what we have done is we've cultivated a relationship with a financial guarantee company that underwrites all of our deals. Our due diligence process is in lockstep with theirs. And they see all of our deals, and they have agreed to financially guarantee 100% of the contract value on each and every deal that Delta does. So what this means for a seller is that they can sleep well at night. If anything ever happens to the business, a tsunami, an earthquake, something goes awry, goes completely sideways, and the business goes under and there is a credit event, mom and dad, the sellers of the business, can make a claim on that financial guarantee and get made whole 100 cents on the dollar in cash.
Well, that's very reassuring. So you have someone standing behind it to guarantee that those checks will continue in the mailbox. And is that for the lifetime of mom and dad, like you're saying, the owners, for instance, of the business?
That's right. So they get paid off the balance of whatever the contract is.
I see. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So that's secure even for their heirs if they died too soon, for instance.
Oh, exactly.
Okay.
So their heirs are still going to get an inheritance too.
Wonderful. Okay. And then because of all of that, it ties into the estate tax, and of course the exemption's pretty high right now for most business owners, but it also protects from the potential for estate taxes in the future?
That's exactly right.
Okay, so very creative, Heath. You've gone out and you've put together a solution for a big part of the marketplace. Now, what types and sizes of businesses does this apply to? Or is it all over the board? I mean, what do you look for?
No, it isn't all over the board. We have a small niche that we prefer. We like high-end services businesses. That's really our bread and butter. Our ideal acquisition candidate is a mature small business or lower mid-market company with at least $500,000 in annual free cash flow. This is profits after all the bills are paid. We need a history of consistent earnings. We don't do turnarounds or startups. We need businesses that are at least 10 years old with little or no debt. We need management in place that will remain after the transition, and simple businesses. If there's a lot of technology, we won't understand it. But businesses like plumbing and HVAC companies, electrical, carpet and air duct cleaning, pest control companies, auto repair and body shops, we love those. Pizza parlors, mortuaries, storage units, just to name a few.
Really, the bread and butter of our economy are these businesses that do not complicated, not necessarily glamorous types of work, but they're necessary. They're repetitive, so it's not like you have to have an advanced degree in business, rocket science or valuation or anything like that. Is what you're talking about? Is the technical knowledge?
Exactly. No.
Okay. Well, no, and that's a huge number. How many businesses do you think are out there that are candidates for Delta?
We conservatively estimate that it's somewhere around 700,000.
700,000. Okay.
Yes.
And
we can't buy all 700,000.
Well, why not? How many transactions are you targeting to do in the next 12 months, let's say?
In the next 12 months, we would like to do somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 transactions.
Okay.
So only the most profitable businesses are going to be candidates for Delta. And also, it's not just about the business. It's also about the seller. The seller is really, really important to us because they're the ones who we're onboarding to our company, and we're going to basically kiss their retirement. We see all of the sellers that we take on as family because the nature of our relationship is going to be for the remainder of their life. We're taking care of them just like the son or daughter that they never had.
Sure.
And we're kissing their retirement. We're making sure that they're taken care of all the way out till the last day. And so those kinds of relationships need to be very special, and we only want to work with good people. So if you're good, you're flexible, you're 65 and older, you have a business that fits these criteria. There are other criteria too. I mean, there are other kinds of businesses that we like, but these simple kinds of businesses are really our bread and butter. Then give us a call.
Well, it's very exciting, and it's a great offer for any of our listeners out there who are in that service type of a business, and you're wondering, how the heck am I going to get out of this thing someday? And here's someone who has put together a process and a system to take you from being confused about your future to giving you peace of mind and knowing you'll have a check in the mailbox for the rest of your life for all of your life's work. And I think that's at least worth a look on their website to find out what their resources are. What do people find when they get to your website, Heath?
Our website is educational. That's really the core of the website. We're there to properly educate sellers on what they can expect from a successful exit. So many times people can't take action. They feel stuck because they don't have clarity. They're confused. And so the website is there to educate sellers so that they can get clarity, so that they can take action and have power with a very, very important decision in their life. We actually formed a special website specific for our Exit Coach listeners. It's deltabusinessservices.com/Exit Coach, and we're giving away some free gifts. The 3 free gifts that you'll get a free report. It's called The Perfect Business Exit Strategy, How to Sell Your Business, Get Cash Flow for Life, and Pay Zero Taxes. The second gift is you can get your free risk analysis tool. This is the same one we use in my office. It'll help you transform your business into an investment that professional buyers will find irresistible. And number 3, you get a free phone consultation. This is no risk, no obligation, free 20-minute phone call with a wealth and retirement income strategist here at Delta. We'll talk you through any questions that you have.
Heath, very clear information, very to the point, and really solves a niche and a problem. So listeners, why wouldn't you go to deltabusinessservices.com/exit coach, get your free 3 gifts, the free report, a free risk analysis, and a free phone consultation. Find out about what Delta Business Services and Heath Frantzen have put together. And Heath, I really enjoyed having you on the show, and we're going to continue to implore to our listeners to get in touch with you and find out more about this, because you're solving a huge problem for our heroes out there, the American business owner. So I really appreciate it. And I want to have you back soon so we can talk more about some of these issues. Like, it's very alarming that 87% of businesses that go to market don't make it to close. I mean, it's just not right. It's just it's something very wrong with that picture, and I appreciate your efforts to fix that.
No, and at Delta, we wanted to flip that. At Delta, it's a 3% failure rate. We have 97% success. So we've taken all of the sticking points out.
Well,
and that's what makes it pain-free and worry-free.
It's really teed up for a perfect storm for, like you said, I mean, if so many businesses are you said 225,000 businesses are going to be for sale, but only 24,000 are bought in a year, 1 out of 10 roughly. Uh-huh. And that's just going to start becoming a huge problem now as so many people, 10,000 business owners a day turn retirement age and really start wondering, okay, where's my exit? How do I get out of this? So thanks very much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure. Anything else to add before we let you go today?
Listen, I want to encourage everyone to take action. Give us a call or go to the website. It's for you. It's free. Everything is there. And if you don't see something you need, give me a call and I'll put it on the website. We're here to be a help and a service to everybody. That's why it's Delta Business Services. We're at your service. And cheers to everybody's exit success.
Cheers to that. I've been talking with Heath Frantzen from Delta Business Services in San Antonio, Texas. We're going to take a short break and come back with another guest, so please stay tuned.
You're listening to ExitCoachRadio.com, the information station for age 50-plus business owners, where we're interviewing over 250 top advisors for their best tips, ideas, and precautions, so you can be well planned. We upload new 1-minute tips every day. ExitCoachRadio.com. Come listen for a minute.
Thank you for listening to Exit Coach Radio.